Saudi Arabia is influenced by a lot of factors in how much it produces. I don't think comments out of the White House play a particularly relevant role in their thinking. As you noted, there was an OPEC deal less than 2 weeks ago to boost supply, and Saudi Arabia and Russia will be, the two countries that will provide some supply uplift over the next 6 months. That there's no question about that.
But are you talking, Pavel, are you talking about the deal they've already made, though? When you say supply uplift, is that part of the OPEC deal to increase by a gross 1 million, which will probably net out somewhere around 600,000 to 800,000 barrels? Or do you see another supply uplift coming from somewhere?
No, just the original OPEC deal from a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Let's remember, OPEC has been deliberately curtailing supply for the past 18 months. Those supply cuts are going away. They're being unwound over the next 6 months. To the extent that Saudi has some ability to boost production beyond what they've promised to do 2 weeks ago, number one, it's nowhere near 2 million barrels a day. And number two, they're not going to fire that bullet unless they absolutely have to. And for example, if there were to be war with Iran or some other scenario that really disrupts the global oil market, barring that, Saudi is not going to pull the trigger on maxing out their production. There's really no need for it.
I don't understand why you don't think that the White House would hold sway in a decision by Saudi Arabia. By all accounts, we've seen King Salman and President Trump have a pretty friendly relationship, and the U.S. withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal. By all accounts, it seems like Saudi Arabia wanted us to do that. So why wouldn't the Saudis work with Trump on what he wants to lower prices at the pump?
Well, it's not a matter of anybody individual at any given moment, right? But Saudi thinks about the oil market on a very long-term basis. Let's remember, they fought a price war against U.S. shale and other non-OPEC suppliers between 2014 and 2016, right? That price war decimated a lot of oil companies in this country and elsewhere. For the past 18 months, they've been playing the opposite game. They've been focused on rebalancing the oil market, and to a large extent, they've succeeded in rebalancing the market. So now they're pulling back on those supply cuts, but it's not a matter of U.S. politics. It's fundamentally a question of how does Saudi envision a stable, sustainable oil price that's not too high, doesn't kill demand, but not too low either, because we know that if prices are too low, we get into a point where companies are not able to invest and inventories fall. That's what we've seen for the past year and a half.
Well, the market, Pavel, sorry to jump in, buddy. The market is tight. The market is telling us it is tight. All of a sudden, we went from too much oil to suddenly not enough oil. I mean, how did that happen? I understand that Libya's off still a couple 100,000 barrels a day. Iran is going to come off, but the U.S. theoretically could make over 11 million barrels a day. We could be the swing producer if we clear up some of these bottlenecks in the Permian. How tight do you see this oil market getting over the next 3 to 6 months?
So the oil market is tight, and as I said, one of the reasons is because Saudi and Russia have deliberately cut production over the past 18 months. That's not the only reason, but that's an important one. Now, another reason why the market's tight is global demand. We're now in the fourth consecutive year where global oil demand is growing above trend. Long-term average is 1.4% global oil demand growth. We got 4 consecutive years where we're growing above that, right? Close to 2%. So you put those two things together, OPEC discipline and very strong demand 4 straight years, inventories fall. Simple as that. Even with, as you said, U.S. supply being as strong as it has been.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.